the 21-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Their mini two-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. And he's got some space here. A huge play there on the screen pass. 76 yards. Well, and this is where quarterbacks' passing numbers sometimes get a little bit more inflated than they should, because this is a short little pass, but it goes for big yardage. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal. Here's Hill. And it'll be intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Eagles are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
It certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing is Hurts. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
A give running left. It's Sanders. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So for the Eagles, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they hit the 10-win mark now at 10-5. And they will hit the road next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they fall under 500 now as they drop to 7-8. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Atlanta Falcons come to town.